Yes, it is the KSC podcast once again, Kinell Sinister Cinema. As you know, I am Kinell, which is why I'm here doing a podcast, you soft bastard. Yes, if you are around the Merseyside area on the 17th of December, get over to Outlaws Clubhouse. Apparently, it's proper Sons of Anarchy country in there. Like, I've never heard of the venue, but I've heard of like the biker gang that owns it. So it's should be a pretty tasty one. That I'm going to be battling West Yorkshire idiot Gaz Time and bodying him. won't be there, but Boski, G Double, and Kinell will be in the place, and Carlton Shanks. He's left the KOTR boys with the keys to the event, so you know it's going to get tasty. We got on-beat clashes, we got a cappella clashes, we got all sorts of nonsense. Tickets are cheap, kicking off at 4. Saturday, 17th of December, Outlaws Clubhouse in Birkenhead. But yeah, on to what we're doing today. And it's December. Need to wrap up the year. I'm not going to do any big kind of like a big list kind of like rankings the year or any of that nonsense. Partially because everyone does it. Partially because I just haven't prepared. Well, I'll tell you what I am prepared. I've got one of my favourite people to come back on the pod. Big Frank Phraser.
Appreciate you having me back. Glad to be here. I never get to talk horror these days, so I'm happy.
Yes.
You know me.
Groovy, man. So you just got back from a film, man. How was that?
Yeah, I went and saw that David Harbour Violent Night. John Leguizamo was in it, and yeah, it's good, man. I feel like if you don't over expect anything, because it's defo silly, it's defo like, even though there's violence and shit in it, I reckon like a certain level of kids could watch this, like maybe like 13 and up. It says it's a 15. There's bare violence, but it's defo like a fun horror. Like it's not super deep or like over the top. You ain't got to overthink about it. But I never went into it knowing anything other than it was David Harbour and it was about Santa. But I thought he was like gonna do a bad Santa gimmick, you know, like he was like a mall one. But he actually is Santa Claus. Like, like, so there is that whole side of things where it's a bit fucking like he's got magic and shit, but at the same time, it's just a big old robbery going on at this like super rich house in the middle of America and that. And John Leguizamo is trying to steal all this shit with a load of hired goons. And it's very much like if Die Hard and Home Alone had a kid. But at the same time, they're also basically telling you that as the film goes along, because there's like references to both of them, and they don't hide it at all. Like the little girl's like, "I'm gonna do a Home Alone," and she does, and she like sends a load of bowling balls at cunts and that. Like it's great. And then there's even a bit where Harbour's like, he's pulling out presents from his magical fucking Santa stack. Pause. And he pulls out one and it says, "Oh, that's fucking Die Hard on Blu-ray," and like slings it and carries on. And it's like you know they're just making little notes to it. But yeah, good fun, and probably one of the only Christmas like type horrors I've watched in donkeys where I actually didn't hate it, because they don't pop me that much, the Christmas vibe ones, or I haven't watched a lot of that maybe I've missed some of them. Obviously, the original Black Christmas and the good remake of Black Christmas I like, but I haven't got many Christmas horror films I love.
Yeah, man. I really like the original Silent Night, Deadly Night. Like, I kind of like the whole franchise, to be honest.
It's too garbage day.
Yeah. And it opens with like a 45-minute flashback to the original film.
Yo, I remember when I first like was doing that run and I'd never seen the first one, and I was like, "Yo, this is actually fucked, bro." You know, like I don't know if I was expecting something else, but it was so dark, bro. A lot of them ones there, them 80s slashers are actually way darker than they appear. You think you're going into a film where it's just going to be a little bit of and it's not. It's not.
Yeah. Flipping like I think like the original Silent Night, Deadly Night was like what do you call it? It was released in cinemas the same weekend as the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh wow, that's crazy! I didn't even know they were at the same time. Mad.
Yeah, and like Silent Night, Deadly Night was what should we call it? Like that was the one that was like kind of like more popping early on, and but parents groups got onto it because when you had like the dead conservative like mums like ban this evil filth and all that, like going, oh, you
Yeah.
can't have someone in a Santa outfit doing all this. So they protested the film and got it took out of
Okay,
cinemas.
okay. Do you know what? I never really connected that as a thing. Like, obviously, I understand that there's always them types of like Christians or whatever that would say stuff, but I
Yeah.
never really thought, oh yeah, you probably shouldn't have Santa going around doing murders and that. That's a good point, actually. I never really. Well, I mean, I say you shouldn't. I don't give a fuck. But you
Yeah.
know, I get the point behind it somewhat.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's
this
like,
maybe this one will get some maybe this one will get some shit now, actually. I didn't even consider that because he's actually playing Santa as well. He's not even playing a guy dressed as Santa.
yeah, I don't know, like I haven't seen it, but like it sounds like that one's more fun. Like you mentioned earlier, it might be one you could show a kid, and like you can show kids like semi funny violence. Like
Yeah,
it's just as
yeah.
long as there's no like sex shit and there's some weird
Nah, there
sex
was
shit.
literally zero sex in this whole film at all. Like, not even like I don't even think someone kissed. Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe the mum and dad at the end when they're like
yeah.
reuniting. That's about it. Like, it was
So
not that
so
kind of
yeah,
film.
you probably could show that to a kid, but I think Silent Night, Deadly Night, there's like a fucking rape in the opening credits.
Fucking hell, I don't even remember that. That's rough. I forgot about that. Jesus.
Yeah, man.
Why is there so many of them in that era, bro? I finally watched what's it called? One with the old mum, fucking stepmom or something. No, what's it called? Mother's Day. That's it. Mother's Day. I
Yeah.
finally watched Mother's Day. I'd never seen it. I watched it like 2 months ago, a month ago. That shit is mad, bruv. That is one of the
Yeah.
most insane films I've ever seen. What the fuck? I don't know why it took me so long to watch it, but it was on Shudder. Madness, absolutely
Yeah.
batshit,
It's barking that film, like.
mate.
I think like it's like
It's
Eli Roth's favorite film, and like
Yeah, that's
because
one of the reasons why I heard about it
yeah,
because he was banging on about. I don't know if you've seen any of the Tarantino podcast that's happening now.
yeah,
Yeah, so he just had Eli Roth on his podcast like maybe like last 3 weeks, a month ago, and they were doing Jallos, and they were talking about Jallo
yeah,
films or what they would consider is one and what they would consider isn't one, and they were talking about Mother's Day, and yeah, I ended up checking it, and it's fucking nuts, bro. But yeah, with this year, are we gonna like? Have you got like not a list, but have you kind of got January to December like in front of you? Some names, because I
uh,
know a load that I've watched, but I don't have
like
a
for
date.
I've got my letterbox here, so I'm gonna bust out my little diary. I can pull out me what should we call it? Me I could get into me stats and all.
Oi, oi, let's
Like a lot
go.
of my stuff's quite weighted because I went to a couple of film festivals.
Yep, I remember.
So
I
like
remember.
it's like then you're watching like 5 films a day, like so it's gonna be like really heavily rated around flipping August and October.
What's that saying? Because I've still never done that. I've never sat and watched like 5 films in like that sort of setting.
Yeah, it's what's it called? There's definitely like different vibes to like the size of the what you call it, the festival you go to.
Mhm.
But like I realize the thing to do is you don't just try and watch every film like
Yeah.
because like for you'll generally have like there's one pub that's nearby and that's where everyone goes like
Okay. Okay.
yeah
I'm with
man.
it. I'm pissed I didn't even roll, man. I still should have went. I fucking always I do this every year with Fright Fest specifically. I'm like I'm going, and then it just never happens. I'm a donut. That's why.
I'm structuring me what you call it me weekend around it like flipping like I'm gonna book the Tuesday off because it's August bank holiday weekend
Mhm.
and it's like it runs like Thursday to Sunday
Mhm.
so like I'm gonna do all 5 days and what you call it like maybe just catch a bit of carnival and then what you
Oh yeah,
call it
because
go
carnival as well. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
yeah but catch a bit of that on the Monday and then flipping what you call it fuck off back and
Yeah.
back in work Wednesday.
Not a bad little week out of the year. That, to be fair, can't go wrong.
Yeah, man. Flipping like what should we call it? Like Fright Fest is like the dead big one. And
Mhm.
like because it's like flipping. There's like Arrow Run Fright Fest, and like they're collaborating with Shudder, so you get all the stuff that's going to be exclusive to Shudder, like way up front. And they got the pulling power, like, so you get Dario Argento turning up to like flipping introduce his film, and he doesn't even speak English. Like,
what
just turns up and goes, "I'm not very good at speaking English. This is my translator." I'm like, yes.
I finally saw. I'm trying to go back and watch a few of his that I never saw. I watched the Bird with the Crystal Plumage a few months ago as well. That was fucking good. That was a good film. He's a ledge.
Yeah.
I keep missing out on this stuff. I saw they did that Whale, the A24 one, not that long ago, and it was like Brendan Fraser was there, Darren Aronofsky was there, and then like what's my man's name? Fucking Edgar Wright was there, like all just watching this film on like a Tuesday night in central London. And I was like, bruv, why did I find out about this the next day? Because it was like a score to go or something. It wasn't even a lot. I should have. I gotta look things up more. I'm fucking terrible for it.
This is it. This is it. Like what I always see things. I go, oh, if I was in London, I'd definitely be at that. But I know full well that if I was in London, I'd be like forgetting to look things up to the last minute. Like,
bro, it's the worst feeling. I swear to God. Even like my normal view cinema, like every now and again they'll just be like showing an old film, and I'm like, yo, I should pay attention, even if I don't want to go. They might pop one up, like they might do Texas Chainsaw Massacre one day, and I want to see that in a cinema. That'd be sick. You know,
first time I saw that was in a cinema, man.
That's so hard. That's so hard, bro. The first time I actually ever, like properly watched that, like I may have had it on in the background when I was young, but I know I sat and watched it. I bought it from Poundland. Like when Poundland first started popping here, like when it first started being a chain and not just the odd random pound shop, they started selling horrors. Like, and loads of, and they also started selling shit that I never saw anywhere in normal DVD shops at the time, like Spitting Image and fucking Hale and Pace. And I used to just buy like 5-6 things, like once every like couple of weeks if I'd go in there. Like I got like fucking, what was it? Amityville 2 and stuff like that was just in there, and I fucking love that film. That's like one of my favorite horrors when I was a kid, because that shit was fucking dark, but it was fire. But yeah, I don't know what I'm on about, but
yeah. I will say that's a big thing of this year for me, is that flipping CEX started popping again.
Yes.
Flipping, like it used to be, there'd be like one little like row of Blu-rays, because like collectors don't really sell their shit. So like it'd just be shit like Talladega Nights for £1 or whatever. But like now it's like about a third of the bottom floor of my local CEX is Blu-rays, because flipping like people are buying 4Ks and doing upgrading. Like you've got collectors selling good shit again.
Yeah, no, I've noticed as well, because like they're dough, like they're still dough. Like I'll be going in there and they'll be like, "Yo, I'll see like one of them yellow box horrors, you know," and it will be like £28. I'm like, "Oh shit, they're still actually set." Like, I mean, obviously it's still better than it would be if you bought it new, but it's like I always hope that they don't know. I always go in there hoping that the cunt pricing it up that day don't have a clue what you're selling, so I can get it for like £5 or something. But they never do. Like even that Memories of Murder, the Korean film, they had it for a tenner the other week, and I was like, and it was a normal DVD, and I was raging. So I was like, why is it a tenner? Why do you know that that's worth money? I want it. Give me that shit.
Yeah, flipping out. Apparently, the weak point is you've got to look at stuff that's been remade.
Okay.
Yeah, flipping like, so someone DVD group, like they got like the the steel book of the Arrow steel book of RoboCop.
Okay.
And they priced it dead cheap, because they priced it as like flipping 2016 RoboCop that came out or whatever. Like,
yeah, that's mad. I see a lot of these steel books. I haven't got any, but they look good. I saw that one they did for Reservoir Dogs.
Oh
I
yeah,
think,
with the ear that
oh
comes
mate,
off.
that looks so fire. That looks like insanely fire, bro. Therefore,
Yeah.
I've always told myself when I start making like better disposable income, that's when I'ma start collecting that shit. So like similar with the videos, like right now I'm still just collecting the sell through ones because I just want to own them. But I find the odd like rental that's like £2 that's like banging, I'll get it. But like
Mm.
most X rentals start at like say £4 and then they go up to like 30 quid a pop or more or whatever, depending on how crazy it is. And it's like, yeah, at some point I will buy that £50, £60 Cannibal Holocaust video X rental. But right
Yeah.
now I could just buy 60 £1 tapes just so I can build it up and then I'll get onto that at some point. Similar with how I was with DVDs. I was always like before they got super good with the 4K and the steelbooks and it was just like standard Blu-rays when they first come about. I would try and save like to get one or two of them, but then I'd just buy the pound DVDs from CEX
Yeah.
instead. You know what I mean?
But that's been the dilemma. I got a 4K player this year, like.
Okay, yeah. I haven't got that. My telly's just HD. I don't think it'd be good enough. I want to get a proper good like 4K telly, but till I do that, I'm not buying nothing
Yeah.
else.
I had this like proper awkward bit when I had the 4K player for like a month and a half before, and I was buying the discs like before I got before I got the 4K telly.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I was like I was like buying the kind of things that I always want, that I definitely want on 4K. I just had all these discs sitting there. I'm like, I'm gonna ruin this for me if I just watch it on my current
Mhm.
telly.
Yeah,
So
I get it. I bought a Shining in a CEX because I just wanted the Blu-ray of it because it was like cheap. It was like £4
yeah,
or something. But when I got back, it weren't working in my PlayStation. I was mad baffled. But I'd bought the HD one or whatever, so it doesn't work the
mm,
same and it don't play on a PlayStation because it's not an actual Blu-ray. It's like HD or some shit. So I ended up having to go and get a normal
mm.
version of it just to watch it anyway. Fucking annoying, man.
That's pretty much how it flipping happened with me. Because like I got like the Kubrick box set, the nice one with all like Clockwork Orange and
Mhm.
flipping Full Metal Jacket and The Shining and
That is a
uh
good box set. I keep going to buy it. It's like not even super dough either. I keep going to pick it up and I never
yeah.
fucking do it.
I was just like walking through town, like and it was just on like me payday, like the month that I get me bonus.
Mhm.
And like there was a big like sale on in HMV that had just started that morning. So like I had to do something in town. I can't remember what, but I was walking past and like I was the first customer in the shop and I got it for like 20 quid.
Yeah, man, that's
So I was
fire.
like, yes,
All
Kubrick box
day.
set, 20 quid. And then I noticed it had like, as well as the Blu-rays, it had the UHD discs of flipping
Okay.
Shining and
That's what
2001. So I went from like, yeah, what a bargain to, oh, I'm gonna have to buy a player for this
I've
now. Actually,
legitimately got it, I think. Oh no, that's the Blu-ray that works. But there's another
yeah,
one here that's got a brown like bit
yeah,
and it's like UHD instead. And I'm like, that's not what I wanted, bro. Like,
yeah,
it don't work at all, bro. It's
yeah.
fucking yeah.
Oh, I did. It does look so crispy, like, but that was literally like the sequence of events. I flipping like picked it up. I was walking out, going, "Hey, what a bargain! Fucking tenner and a for I think it was. I think it might be about 15 quid or something. It was way
That's
too
crazy.
low for it.
Yeah, that's dope.
And like I was like,
That's
yeah,
cheaper
I've
than like
saved
the
so much
CEX
money.
secondhand and that. Like
Yeah.
that's so sick.
And then I was like, yeah, I've saved so much money here. And then like fucking later that day, I spent 200 quid on a UHD player.
That's how they get you. That's
Yeah.
capitalism. Fucking
And then
damn
like I
you.
knew I was gonna I had plans to get a new TV because I knew I was getting like there's this whole reward system in work. Like I've been there 10 years. So I go,
Okay.
oh, I could get a 4K player then. But flipping, I was I was sat off like just collected a few. I thought I need a few films for when like I actually get this telly.
For sure, for sure. You got to do it. You got to get amongst it. Like,
Yeah, got to get a copy of The Thing. As soon as I'm onto a new format, The Thing's the first thing I got to get. Like,
oh man, imagine that in the 4K HD thing with the big 4K telly. That sounds mad. I got to see it like that. I got to
yeah,
see it
man.
like that. That's crazy. Whenever I go to my cousin's house, they've only got like, it's not like they go mad with it, but like they'll be playing like FIFA on PS5, and then I'll come back and I'll play my one on PS4 on my telly, and I'm like, this looks like shit. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? That shit looked like a real match a minute ago when I was at their house, so now I'm playing mine, and it's like I'm playing Mega Drive, and I'm not happy about it. It just don't look the same. I do need one of them tellies, but then what will happen is my eyes will adjust, and then I'll hate that as well, and it won't matter anymore. But I still need one of them tellies soon.
Yeah, I got a lot of love. Got a lot of love for the time. I got a sharp one, which like which isn't that expensive as they go for like a 55-inch job.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for, like that sort of size, like the roughly, and then I keep seeing like decent ones for like not that much. It's just slapping down the whole dough at once. I fucking hate it. Like
Yeah.
that's why this Klarna shit's getting like, it shouldn't be a thing, but it's good because I will be happier to slap down a 100 than 500 right off the bat. You know what I mean? Like,
I think my sharp one. I think it comes in at like flipping like I think I paid about a couple hundred for it. It's like just over a couple of hundred. It was less than 300.
that's crazy. I didn't even know that when I looked that up. That's way cheaper than I thought you'd say. Jeez.
Yeah, I'll send you the link. Like it's flipping like it's a sharp one.
Mhm.
Flipping like it's got Android on it. Like so, I've got all my apps installed on it
Yeah,
and
you
shit. Like
can't go wrong.
yeah,
Better
man.
than I've just got a fucking old. It's like it's old now. This fucking it's a Samsung TV, but I've had it for time, bro. For like so
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, I had my brother's old Polaroid one in here, like that's moved upstairs, and now I've got a 50-inch flipping telly in my bedroom. Like,
Well, that's the whole point, in it. I'm doing that. My cousin, like a different one I was just talking about. I remember first went to his house. He got the 60-inch TV, and I was like, "You're an insane person." But the way he lives, like it's like a huge house, but like he's got like a floor with his wife and that. But then like his wife's mum has like her own floor. It's like a mad big gaff. So like they live together, but they don't see each other. It's weird. And
mm,
then yeah, I was like, "Yo, how have you got this 60-inch TV?" And then one day I come round like a couple years later, and he was like, "Yeah, no, that's gone." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, I got this like 75 now." I'm like, "You
mm,
just need to sort it out. What are you doing with your time?" And I was only saying that because I was hating, and I wanted that, and I
mm.
also wanted where the 61 gone, because I'd have that off you. Give me that shit.
Mhm.
But yeah, go on, let's go, let's go. I've got some 2022 films I've seen. I've got a bag of them.
Yeah, man. Let's just wheel through. Let's go one and one with a favorite film we've seen this year. You
All right.
kick us off.
Well, the first 2022 film I watched that was like horror based was that No Exit.
Mm,
It dropped straight on Disney. I think it's Hulu, but I'm not sure but it dropped straight on Disney, and
yeah,
that was the first one I watched, and I had no real knowledge of what it was because I saw the trailer for like, when you put a trailer on for like 30 seconds and you're like, nah, I don't need to see anymore. Like I know I'm in. And it was one of
yeah,
those for me where like they just did really well. Like I like films that if they are gonna be in like one setting with not a lot happening,
mm,
that they still keep you like involved, and it's like a bit of a who done it, and then it's not,
yeah,
and then like everyone's a bit of a wanker. Like the longer it goes on,
yeah.
someone else is a bit of a scumbag, and someone it was a good film, man. Like Defo, if you never caught that when the year started, it's on Disney and it's a good film. That No Exit.
Yeah, man. Flipping like I'm just looking at my stats from the year, and like I think like the first really big one of the year, like flipping like in January, I was doing this thing called like January, where you like have to watch a different Giallo every day for the whole
Sick,
month,
sick.
and like fucking like 31 of them on back to back days. Like
Yeah, you must have had a bit of an insane month, bro.
it was because you want to because like flipping. you get through a lot of like the ones everyone knows, and you get into like some quite weird ones when you get to 31. But I also had like Jalo Brain by the end of it, like and
So
there's ones I
everything's
watched.
just the gloves.
Yeah. Like ones I watched that I didn't think were that good. I was watching again, and like, actually, this is flipping sick. Like, 'cause I'm just
Yeah.
in that mode of watching a lot of Italian films.
I
I
like
suppose.
doing that as well. When I get into a genre of something and it like, or I'm running through a bag of like a specific subgenre, and then you rewatch something you saw back in the day that was like you kind of never really took on, and you're like, oh no, this actually is fire. Like I'm so glad I went through it. But you wouldn't have fucked with it if you weren't doing that. So
Yeah.
I get you. I get you.
Yeah, I suppose the what you call it, the big event film for like the start of the year was flipping Scream.
Yeah, that was yeah, man. I don't know. I weren't happy. I can't lie. I never. It didn't. I didn't love it. I didn't love
Yeah,
it.
flipping I like what you call it on my first watch in the cinema. It was a 5-star film for me. Like I was
Yeah,
flipping while I was watching there in the cinema because like I watched the original when I was like 16 in the cinema in
sick,
Chester.
sick, sick, sick. Yeah, see, that's
I like
different, man. I never got to experience that, man. That's sick.
Yeah, so it was like flipping like it was such a big nostalgia thing for me. Like I was hitting that like when it was getting to the end scene and it's at Stu Marker's house. I was like I was right back there. I was that
Yeah.
16-year-old kid that originally watched it because I've really grown up with that fucking franchise. Because like
Do you know what
in
then?
the new one, like fucking like Nev Campbell, like she's got her kids and she settled down and all this like and but like the first one's about like 16-year-old kids, and I
Mhm.
was a 16-year-old kid, weren't living in them nice big houses like that.
Yeah,
But that was like the film of my generation that like currently at that time. And
100%.
then
No, I get you. I get
and
you.
like now I'm like Dewey in the new one. I
That's
just got all
good.
these failed relationships and I'm just drinking alone in my caravan.
Bro, do you know what? That's actually like so you've sold me on it. I'd take back any negativity I had on Scream. Do you know what? I think my main issue was because I didn't go and watch it in the cinema. I watched it on the telly in my
Yeah,
house, and I think it was more just every line just felt a bit like a. Do you remember? Do you remember?
yeah,
And obviously, I
yeah.
was
Member
like,
Berry's heavy.
and I was sort of going to myself, I do. Give me something else. But when you put it the way you put it, I kind of I wanted that experience, to be honest. That experience is better than one I got. That's fire.
Yeah, I've like I rated it 5 stars coming out the cinema, like, but I got it on Blu-ray and I haven't really like been going back to it a lot, like,
Mhm.
so like I think I don't know if I'd call it a 5-star movie like now, even though I rated it at the time, but that time of like
But you
going
got
from
the
being the
experience of it. To get the experience of it is banging
yeah
because like I've done that like where you get a bit older and watch something and be like, oh, that wasn't even all that. But you still got the experience of it, so you can always have that. That's not going anywhere.
yeah
That's hard. That's very fire. What did I fucking? I don't know whether to go with what I saw next or one I prefer.
uh uh just pick them as you go, man. Pick them as you go,
All
however
right,
you feel.
so I can't see it right here. Oh no, there it is. Fresh. Fresh is next. I gotta talk about
Yeah.
Fresh, man. One reason more than any other is because they dropped Blood Orange in the film, and that's like my favorite song ever. Like I fucking love that song. I always wanted to put that in a horror film. I always thought I'd be the person to finally put that in a horror film, and then they dropped it, and I was like, yo, this is so mad. But yeah, Fresh is so good. Like they hit every fucking like nail with that because it's shocking, it's
Mm.
fucking dark as fuck, it's funny. It's like I saw someone sort of explain it as a bit like a dating Get Out. It might have even been you or some actually. Someone
Mm.
said it was like a dating version of like Get Out, and I fuck with that because it is a bit. It's that
Mm.
sort of vibe like of like this era of dating and this era of like, and then also obviously like the more like poignant parts being that like men are fucking scum, obviously.
Yeah.
But It was good, man. Like and they did well with the casting, and that guy's a proper psycho. He does it well. He did his Bateman 10 out of 10. I like that film. I haven't watched it back since, but I can see myself watching that back.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, man. Fucking what's it called? Fresh was great. There's another one that went straight to fucking Disney.
It
Because
did, yeah,
we
yeah.
don't have the Hulu over there, so they put the Hulus on Disney most of the time.
Mm-hmm. I didn't notice that either until, so it's funny because when I watched No Exit, I stole it because I couldn't find it. And then the next day I opened Disney and saw that it was there, and I was raging because I could have just I didn't have to search for it. I could have just put it on. But then yeah, with Fresh, that one they told me it was on Disney. I was excited about that. That was fire.
Yeah,
You've got Bagnall onto that. A few months back, Bagnall asked me for a mad horror, and I sent him that, and he come back to me and just was like, "All right, fair enough."
Yeah, man. Fucking Fresh, absolute banger, man. Fucking like another one that flew under the radar, but like a lot of these Hulu ones that go on Disney, they ain't really promoting them enough because it's the fucking Disney Channel. They got their fucking children's shit to sell. They got their Marvel shit to sell. They got their Star Wars. So
Right.
so it's never gonna get that bump. So you're gonna miss your no exits, like unless you're fucking checking.
100%, 100%. I think the best way that, like, this is how I've always found them, but like I'm sure there's better ways than this, but I always do a run of like trailers, like say once a month, once every other month. I'll just scan like all the trailers that I haven't seen on YouTube, and then I'll be like, oh shit, that one looks a bit mad, that one looks a bit mad, that looks trash. I ain't never checking that. And then every now and again, like I'll usually have at least heard of, like if I haven't checked it yet, I'll have at least seen like a trailer for it, so that my brain's sort of like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that. Like Barbarian, like I will get to that later, but that trailer I saw that like 30 times, like just because it was popping up on stuff. I wasn't even searching for it, but then like it just stayed in the thing. But Mimi Cave is who directed Fresh, and I'm so glad there's a lot more women doing like directing horror this last year or so, and they're popping and they're killing it.
Yeah.
They're coming. It's similar to like what I just mentioned. I heard that someone quote it as like Get Out for dating, but I'd say in a similar sense, like where someone like Jordan Peele is able to like show like black cinema and black horror, where you're like, actually I've never, like I haven't dealt with this, but it's a new horror for me to see. Like it's a new way of showing it. And that's the same thing with like women directors. It's like, yo, this is like a new way of approaching horror and showing it to people because it's coming from a different like perspective, and I fuck with it heavy.
It is because like flipping like when bloke directors tend to like sort of like try and tackle women's issues, like if it was a bloke trying to write that film, it'd be a lot more literal. It wouldn't be cannibalism, it'd be fucking rape, wouldn't it? Like
yeah, exactly. And
they just show the actual thing as opposed to like some creative art that fucking just fucking takes the whole experience of not knowing what you're getting into and all this kind of thing, and like so doing something interesting and creating with it, but because it's got those emotions that are grounded in like real fears.
That's what I was about to say. The fear is where they're getting like better than anything. It's like this other side of fear. It's like, oh shit, that's how he looks. Like that guy in Fresh is how he looks when he's texting someone on an app, and you don't see that. Like if a bloke was writing it, he'd only be seeing sort of how he would write it as a bloke. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same because it's a different experience altogether. And I'm enjoying seeing that like in horror lately. That just other ways of coming out, like showing your fears and that, because that's what it all is really when you get down to it. Different versions of that.
Like horrors, like what's it called? It's always been like one of the more like a lot of people don't, a lot of non-horror fans don't want to hear it, but it's always been one of the most progressive genres. Like,
oh, totally, totally, man.
They will have the strong female hero, and you do get things like flipping like people under the stairs talking about fucking like gentrification and fucking landlords and all this kind of shit, like fucking like the discourse that's going on now, talking about it in the early 90s, like.
Well,
But,
bro, like
but
Night
if
of the
you're gonna
Living
have those
Dead,
discussions, you
you
need to
know,
have like
you look at Night of the Living Dead, bruv. Like,
yeah.
if you ask almost anyone what that is, right? They're just gonna go something like zombies. Not really. Like,
Mm,
if the average person's just gonna sort of say zombies, but when you sit and watch that for the first time, especially in this era, and you
mm,
see what it actually means under the surface, but
mm.
it's not even that hidden when you actually see it now. I bet it was probably a bit more hidden when it came out in the late 60s or whatever. But it genuinely, when I first saw that film, someone gave it. This is mad. Someone gave it to me. You know them newspaper DVDs.
Yeah.
So this neighbor was throwing shit out, and he was like, "Do you want these?" And I was like, "Go on then." And I just looked through them, and there was like tons of trash, and then there was like a few like that. And I was like, "Oh, do you know what? I was doing nothing that week. This was like about 8 years ago. I'd never seen it. I'd seen mad like Shaun of the Dead's and all that, but I'd never seen Night of the Living Dead. So I put it on, and I was expecting it to be a bit like tame and like,
Mm,
what's all this about? And then you watch it and you realize what Romero is doing, and you're like, oh my days, this like how ahead of his time he was, like, and how much he was
yeah.
talking about. Like, but yeah, it's true, man. Like, I think horror always is able to tackle like subcultures and like
Mm,
hidden like subtext like about what's really going on better than
yeah.
pretty much any other film, because when stuff's a drama or a thriller, they've kind of got to make like a that's the killer, and you got to like keep your eye on that. Or if it's a drama,
Yeah.
it's like this is what's happening in this life. But with the horrors, it's always sort of like, oh, that guy running around with a knife, but also this is what he means by that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy.
And this is why, like you say, like it's good to have more women directors coming
Mhm.
in from the actual flipping perspective and telling that story. It's good to have more like POC creators
Yeah, for
involved,
sure,
like
for sure.
people. Like I mean, it was a while ago now, but like things like His House on Netflix and stuff like that.
Right. Yes, 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 yes. I think,
Yeah,
yeah, bro. And also like just the same whilst we're on it, but like I haven't seen it yet, but I know there's Shudder did a film that was like about like a gay couple that had moved to like a neighborhood. I'm not sure what it is, but it's quite new and I haven't checked it yet. But it was like a gay couple moved to like a similar like vibe, but from what I saw, it was like Get Out-ish, but it's like this gay couple moved to like a town and everyone's a little bit like what? And then it turns all horror-ish, but I haven't seen what it is. But I already kind of gather what the subtext is there. Like, but
mm,
that's sick too that there's more representation and shit being put around, man. Because not
yeah,
everything's got to be from the same. We've got a lot of it. You can go watch it. Like, they're not going anywhere. Like, I remember I see Jordan Peele being like, "Yo, I've seen that movie, so go watch it
yeah.
somewhere. Go do something else."
Yeah, I have seen like quite a lot of queer horror, like sort of like since lockdown, really, because of Mitch and like the Soho Horror Festival and doing
Mhm,
his So Home things. Uh, Obviously, he's like gay himself, and he wants to
mhm.
make a program a very like inclusive festival, and he's done like virtual Pride events for the last thing where he's like
Sick.
showcase these things, and you sort of realize that fucking like the fucking like length and breadth of like the different kinds of queer horror that coming out. Because like the first
Sure.
film on the day will be like some like really progressive like fucking coming of age thing, and like the last one will be something like Death Drop Gorgeous, where it's like a fucking slasher movie like set inside a drag queen's arsehole. And like
Nah,
fucking
man,
like
honestly,
what's
yeah.
got and you can always rely on them for plenty of fucking what should we call it, dicks getting injured. They've got
That
fucking
was very
like
very 2000s that shit was as well. The early 2000s horrors, they loved it. There was a lot of dick injuries in that era of horror.
yeah.
Like Hostel and all that.
So another fucking favorite of mine this year
Mhm.
I'll go on to is Candyland, and I missed it
Okay.
at Fright Fest, but I saw it at Grimfest. Like there was this guy who was like selling 2 tickets as a pair, and he was selling
Mhm.
them for half price. So I got them off him and like took Boski
Sick.
because
Sick.
I thought like yeah, it's the same price as like getting a weekend pass for myself. Like
Yeah, no, I haven't checked that yet, but I saw you post about it, so I googled it like 2 days ago. It was in my recents because I was like, oh shit, I ain't even seen that name. So when I saw you post it, I was like, I gotta check what that is, but I haven't seen it yet. But when you said it was fire, I gotta check that. What's it
yeah.
about roughly?
It's a like Candyland is like this sort of truck stop. There's like motels and shit. It's one of these proper like long distance truck shops in America. And it's called Candyland because there's these sex workers operating there. Like I think it's about like 5 women and like 1 lad. And like there's a cult nearby, and this woman sort of escapes from this cult, and like she don't really know how to function outside of it, so they sort of take her under the wing. And like some people start dying. There's all kinds of fuckeries because this cult are on some fuck shit and fucking like, you know, it's just a lot of fucking like sleazy characters around it. But like it's like a really grimy, sleazy movie, but the characters in it are so well written and acted. It kind of like sets it apart.
All right,
Because like fucking every time someone died in it, like from like one of the sort of main group of characters, it really fucking hurt me. Like they're all like well-defined characters.
Okay, I like that. I'm definitely on that. I'm gonna give that a check later, I reckon, if not tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, flipping came out of it with like just jammed the camera straight in Boski's face. Said like, "Oh, what do you think of that then?" You know, "Oh yeah. Some decent tits in there, and what you call it? You saw flaps in the first 5 minutes. I was worried you were going to see a dick, but we didn't in the end, so that was good."
That is very mouse dog, baby.
Yeah, man. Fucking what you call it? Like what you call it? I don't know if I'll come across many half-price tickets again, but I'll always recommend just taking Boski to a film festival for vibes reasons, man.
Yeah, you know it's gonna be a giggle for sure. Fucking hell. All right, what have I got? I'm gonna go to a more obvious one, but then the one I'll do next, I'll try and make a little less obvious. But we'll do Black Phone. I think the Black Phone was definitely one of the best horrors I saw in the cinema this year for sure. Like they just did really well with it. Like the whole thing, it's just like a tense, like it's done like you it's one of those where I was saying to people, like they were asked. I hate when people ask me if it's good, because it's never like you or like a Dave, you know, like it's always people that like I know only would have watched the most obvious like stuff, and that's fine. But I can't explain to them why certain horrors are fire if that's not their bag. So I kept trying to to explain to people like, yo, if you can suspend your animation, like your disbelief for this, then you'll love it. But if you can't, don't bother. But it is like that. Like I would say, that's one of the like I think that goes for any film really. But I thought they did really sick with it. Like I was the whole film, you just like proper rooting for that kid, and then just like there's not a lot going on outside, but then enough happens outside where you start going like his sister and shit, and then the Savini mask. Like I've got that. I'm not gonna forget that mask now. Like it's not a huge mask. He's not done too much with it, but I've got it
it's pretty iconic.
Yeah, I feel like that shit like will be on a lot of merch stands at some point going forward. Like that's one of them.
It'll be making its way to AliExpress, like.
And they could also, with the fact that like obviously I don't want them to, because sequels are especially with like one-offs like that, you don't really want sequels. But I can see them. They could go on to one of the kids that have died already and do their story, or or they could do like something similar where they sort of go back in the past a little bit further. But yeah, either way, I thought it was really good. And I don't know if Ethan Hawke really says much. Obviously, he does talk a bit, but I don't remember him saying anything. I just remember him sitting there at the top of the stairs,
just being a vibe,
and just being like, "Oh shit, this is fucked." Like they did real well with it. Honestly, I would recommend that one as one of the more well known of the year in horror. They did well with it for sure.
Yeah, in terms of like what it put me in mind of in terms of like a vibe more so than a direct comparison, it'd be like the sort of late 80s, early 90s era of Stephen King adaptations, like fucking Your Pet Cemeteries and things like that. Like, and that's a good vibe. That's fucking
100%. I feel like there's probably loads of Stephen King films that like or like to do with his books that are films that are dead, but a lot of them, fuck, they're really good. Like they got a lot of his like tones down real well, where you're just
Yeah.
sort of like creeped out the whole time, and you never
Mm.
really know if someone's moving mad or not. like,
Yeah.
but yeah, definitely, I fuck with that one for sure.
Yeah, it's been a fucking. It's been such a good year for fucking horror releases, and we've been getting shit in the cinema, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, fucking.
I'm trying to think how many I've been to this year. I'd say I've seen a good like 7 or so, which is a lot like of just horrors. You know, like I'd say
Yeah.
like for me anyway, I don't go off often, but I feel like I went a bag of times this year just to see horrors.
Mm.
Like I know I saw that there. I saw fucking Halloween Ends and shit, like
Yeah.
all sorts.
Did you catch X in the cinema? Which I
No,
was
I
going to go.
didn't. No, I didn't. I haven't even seen Poe yet. I saw X, and then
Yeah.
it dropped straight away on like not long after on Amazon. But X was mad, bro. I
Yeah.
know I need to check Poe. I kind of want. It's weird, but
Oh,
for
fuck
some
it. Have,
reason,
have you heard about this bullshit with the Pearl release?
no.
Fucking
Is it not
A24.
out?
Fucking it hasn't been released in this country like yet. And they finally announced they're releasing it in fucking March.
Oh, allow it, man. Allow it,
That
bro.
like fucking like
Bro,
the fucking
what's
the
the point
fucking
in doing the films that close together if you're just gonna push one like a year later anyway? You may as well have
yeah,
just
I
given
know,
yourself
but I mean,
time.
like the fucking Blu-ray's fucking out in America. Like you could just get that if you got a multi-region player. It's out all these other places. Like
Yeah,
I'm
that's
worrying that
nonsense.
flipping. I am worrying about this. That it's starting to feel like that they're getting back to the old ways where America would get stuff first, and we wouldn't get it till ages
Hate
later.
it. No,
Yeah,
before we
at the
talk
time
about it
that
at
was
some point,
annoying.
I know we'll talk about it at some point, so I won't talk about it too tough. But on the subject of that, you see, Nope, yeah, Nope was supposed to come out the same weekend as
Yeah.
America, and then like a week before, no, 2 weeks before, they was like, oh, actually, it's coming out 3 weeks later in England. So I had to block everyone
Yeah.
so I didn't see what that was about. Bro, I had Jordan Peele blocked for like 3 weeks because all this everyone talking I couldn't even go on my horror page because I was mad shook. And I'm so glad that I did block everyone because if I had gone to the cinema the day that came out, which I did, and I'd have known, because that whole film is a reveal. Like the whole
Yeah.
film is revealing different shit that was not explained. So if someone would have told me that going in, I'd have been raging, bro. Like super. And I never have to duck information from films that heavy these days. But that one, I was blocking motherfuckers for like 3 weeks at a time. Like people I know, I was just like, I don't care. Don't talk about that shit, bro. I don't want to know.
Look, this is it. Like fucking, like they're doing these delayed releases and like fucking like we got VPNs now, and
Mhm.
like fucking people are fucking. If you want to stop fucking like, if you want to reduce piracy, just let people see the shit, man.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
This is it. Like fucking like us horror fans will support shit. You put something in the cinema, even if we're
I'm
not
going.
that hyped about it, we'll go and watch it. We'll buy
100%.
tickets. But if you're like fucking making us wait like fucking half a year for shit,
Right.
there's another example. My favorite film of the year, kind of only horror adjacent, but like Next Exit. Fucking
I'm so glad that you told me about this.
yeah,
That
man.
that movie's fucking beautiful, man. That movie's amazing. That's up there with one of the best films I've seen in a long time, man. Like so
Oh
good.
man, it fucking got to me so much. It was such a thing at Fright Fest, like.
Yeah, man. I told my brother, like I tried to like, Charlie, like I was telling Charlie about it, and I was just like, bro, how I'd never consider like the opening start of that film, I had never considered that. Like when they dropped that on you, I was like, oh my god, that is horrifying in itself. Just the imagine someone came on Sky News today and was like, oh, by the way, we know that
Ghosts
if you die,
are definitely real.
you're
Here they
straight.
are.
What the fuck, bro? Like, bro, I'd never considered it with the amount of ghost stuff there's been in life. Never considered, and they did it in such a way where that is kind of how people would be. I mean, I'm sure there'd be a bit more mental shit going on because humanity's real or whatever, but they didn't go with it so left field. They kept it on some people are just like, yo, I'm done, I'm out. But yeah, you can tell a lot of the films about like suicide
This is
and
it,
stuff
like, you
as
know,
well.
it fucking it would change things, like, so, like, yeah, it would change everything, like, so, like, you know, okay, so maybe, like, I wouldn't be abandoning the people I don't want to abandon if I want
Right,
to
yeah.
say fuck this.
Yeah, or like I'm not gonna fucking well, not so much burn in hell or whatever, but you know, like, oh, all that stuff I did weren't that bad. Okay,
Yeah.
you know, like I can get on with, I can move on. And yeah, honestly, and then just I won't overdo it with because like you said, it's not even out yet, or whatever. But just that bit where about his dad and stuff when he just goes into that monologue for like 5 minutes is just so devastatingly good, like,
Yeah.
so good.
Like the whole thing is like so well written and fucking performed, like, and like I just love the whole setup of the central two characters. Like the woman, like she's, you know, it's like fucking like she's volunteering this like for like quite dark reasons. But you would have someone like fucking like Raoul Coley who's just going like, okay, so I can check out. I am eating all the fucking crisps now. I am
Yeah,
fucking I'm
bro, it's
getting the
real.
fucking 1 liter of fucking fizzy drink and having it. I don't care about my teeth now.
What does it matter, innit? But still sort of getting on with it. It's weird, like, because he didn't just completely give up yet. He was still kind of getting on with it. It's
Mm,
like that there's that humanity left where it's like, oh, I've still got shit to do though.
yeah,
I still have to do shit, but at the
mm,
same time, I'm done. Yeah, oh,
yeah,
honestly, so good. Definitely, like, make sure if you're hearing this and you've not
yeah.
seen it or don't know about it, make sure you find a way to watch that. So fucking good.
Yeah, fucking, yeah, definitely film of the year for me. Like, and fucking, like, it was so powerful, man. Like, fucking, like, like it was on like fucking 10 in the morning on fucking Fright Fest. It was on
Oh,
the
that's a
Friday.
mad time to check it as well. That's a
Yeah,
mad
I
time.
fucking like I was on a what should we call it? Like I only had tickets for the Friday and Saturday and some Sunday.
Mhm.
So like I was up at 7 o'clock in the morning to watch it.
Oh,
Fucking
mate.
like get a train down to London and fucking like find Cineworld and all this, like, and then like, so it was just like fucking up early, like blurry as fuck, feed the cats and fucking set the electric cat feeder and fucking if I packed all my shit in my bag and fucking I get to the train station because fucking I can't be arsed risking it with the taxi because they're a pain in the arse at this time in the morning. Fucking like sod it, I'll have a can on the fucking train. Fucking like right, fucking Leicester Square. Where's this fucking city? Oh fuck, there's like 5 cinemas right next to each other. Which one is it? How'd
Mhm.
you get the fucking tickets? I just sort of like pulled it all together in time to just sit down in front of that massive fucking screen in Cineworld in Leicester Square.
Yeah.
And
Unreal.
then like, you know, I was just expecting like because I'm just a really big fan of Raoul Coley. Like he's just
Mate,
fucking
he's a
bossing
G. He's
everything.
a G. I see him on Instagram straight after he was cooking motherfuckers, like just on his main story with like all these fans and that, and he's just mugging off dons in his comments. Love it. He gives me vibes of like I knew him growing up. Like I know I
Yeah.
don't. Like I'm sure that we've got no connection, but he gives me vibes of someone that I knew that was like a bit older than me in school or something. You know, like he just I don't know exactly where he's from. I never checked, but I bet he's from like somewhere not too far. Obviously,
Yeah,
I
fuck
know
up.
he's a Londoner.
He's just the fucking guy, and he like because fucking like you look at his fucking Twitter feed, he's doing all these sick things and like fucking like he's like fucking putting in these deep performances in this Mike Flanagan shit, and then he's
Mhm.
like fucking doing his comedy I Zombie, and then he's fucking in my fucking film of the year doing both at the same time, and then you see him and he's just a fucking vibe on like social media and all like
Mate, I
he's
see him say he was like, "Don't book me for no films for a bit. I'm going to do my Daniel Day-Lewis like type break." And then he was like, "So unless you've got it was like some mad like gangster film part two." And he was like, "Or unless you're oh no, it was the Daniel Day-Lewis film that What was
There
that one
will be
where?
blood.
No. What's the one where he's Billy the Butcher or whatever with the eagle in his eye?
Oh.
Scorsese.
Mm.
Fucking DiCaprio.
Gangs of
Gangs of New York or whatever it is, something like that. He was like, unless it's number 2 of that or My Left Foot Part 2, My Right Foot, then don't holler me. And I was like, that's such a dumb joke, but I love it.
Yeah.
Fucking
He's just
Billy.
so into his fucking nerd shit. Like, he'll be like, but he's still the fucking king at the same time. Like, he'll be there, like, fucking going, look at this fucking Warhammer Games Workshop thing I've just fucking painted. And all the comments are just fucking like women, like, with their fan art of him with his shirt off, thirst posting after him. I was like, fucking hell, man. Like, do you know how fucking much of a boss dude you've got to be like fucking showing off your Warhammer figures and having birds thirsting in the comments?
And he's just proper man as well. Like you can hear it when he talks. He just sounds like he's from round the way. Like I proper respect it. He ain't hid himself whatsoever. If they're like that is him at all time. I'm so glad that I checked that, man. That film was great. Yeah, he rules. I haven't even seen that show yet with the Flanagan one, but I'm gonna check it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do
Fun.
Nope then. I'm gonna say Nope next because I touched on it. But yeah,
Yeah, man. Hit some
I
nope.
I waited so long for that to drop. It felt that month felt forever because I was hiding from everyone so that I didn't get no spoilers. And like I genuinely like I think Jordan Peele's like him and Ari, but mainly Jordan. Like I fully pray at the altar to what they're doing. Like I reckon that whatever they were feeling towards like the Scorsese types and that growing up, that's what I'm seeing with these guys. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, whatever they're doing, I'm all in. And I'm expecting to not like shit because like it might not be for me or whatever, but when I kept hearing about what he was doing and he was creating spectacle, he was creating this, I wasn't sure what was going on. And then I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, that is me, like 18-year-old me, aliens, I'm all in. And then I remember I went to Shuff's wedding. Me and my brother are sitting around the fire, and I was like, yo, you gotta check this trailer. And I'm like, bare showing him my phone, making him watch this trailer at like 11 o'clock at night. Like, bro, you gotta watch it, bro, alien shit. And then obviously, like, gets to the day of, and I don't even think many people were in there. It was like not a lot of people, but it was like the big screen at the Cineworld. And it was like, I don't think I bought the IMAX one, but I bought one of them other ones, you know, where the super
Yeah.
screen or some shit like that I bought. And then it's just the first like half an hour or maybe 35 minutes, they're just slowly revealing the bits of the trailer that you thought were different bits and they weren't. And it's fucking amazing. I'm like, yo, I can't believe he sold me a dream like that. But it's so good that he did. And then yeah, it was just really smart and really good. And then like all the acting, like fucking, like amazing. Like Daniel Kaluuya again. Like I think he's untouchable, bro. Like I want to see him in so much shit, but I also only want to see him in stuff with Jordan now because I feel like they've got this perfect like. Yeah, honestly,
Yeah, fucking like when you got like a director and an actor that can work together and like okay, like wait, stick these two together and it's going to be a banger.
exactly, because
Yeah,
they'll know exactly what they want from each other, even
yeah,
if they give each other grief. It's like I assume them sort of scenarios are almost sibling like because or maybe a bit father sonish, but like sibling like where they'll probably bicker and get shit, but they'll know why they're annoyed at each other. They'll know why they're happy with each other, all that shit. And yeah,
yeah,
honestly, I don't know where I rank it right now because I've only seen it in the cinema. I wanna get the Blu-ray. It's one of them films where because they shot it on it was like the first horror ever shot on like IMAX cameras or
mm,
something. Now, I wouldn't really consider it a horror, but I also feel like everything Jordan does is horror something. Like there's
yeah,
horror in it, and he always tries to put the vibes in it. So I would consider it horror as well. But I can see people that are into slashers and stuff watching that and being like, this ain't scary or nothing to me. So like I can understand, but I would suggest getting like a good way of watching it. Like I wouldn't just get like a shit
mm,
stream of it or whatever. Like it's one of them films where you want to see that shit crystal. Like, and
yeah,
I rarely ever make that point because I watch videos, bro. But You should make sure you check that one.
Yeah, and some things are better scuzzy, like, and some things you need to appreciate the fucking crystal clarity on a big
Honestly.
fucking screen.
And like the way
Yeah.
that it's shot is like so vast because it's so skyline, like a lot of skyline. So you do want to see that. But yeah, on it's just so good, man. I don't know
Yeah.
what I put it yet. I haven't really ranked any. I always have Get Out as my favorite one because it's the first one and it caught me the most.
Yeah.
But I like them all in for different reasons. Like they're
Yeah,
banging.
I was I kind of credit Jordan Peele with this. I was talking with it about Toucan.
Mhm,
Is like flipping. I think him like bringing something as original and impactful as Get Out when he's got all this pull from like his comedy work that he can like get it in cinemas. That's like fucking. That was the flip of the switch, which is
mhm.
why that we're getting all this ace horror in cinemas, and it's
I
like
totally agree.
original IPs. It is your Smiles, your X's,
Oh,
your
Smile. Oh, Smile. Oh man, Smile
yeah,
fucking rule.
yeah. But we're getting like original like IP horror like in cinema regularly, and I think like Get Out started it. Like,
Oh, fully. And like even when you look at shit like what Ari did with like Midsummer and stuff, like you wouldn't have got that either. That was
yeah,
so different and like niche. But it would if you did get it, it would have came out on some like smaller level, like where
yeah,
it doesn't get as much press. But that was huge. I remember that was popping. Like people, that's like a huge meme now. Like Midsummer, like it's a big film. But I
yeah.
don't
Like,
think they would have got that push without that, like you say, that original IP stuff happening.
yeah,
I know he didn't write, like he wrote that one, but he was given the idea to write it rather than it was his own one. But you
yeah.
get my point.
But this is the thing for a long time. Like, like in the average year, like in the UK, you'd get maybe 2 or 3 horror films in the cinema, and they'd all be like a Saw sequel or whatever. Like, it'd all have to be like some established IP.
Yeah, I'd say the first flip of the switch for horror, I'd say, and then there was still a big break between it. But the first flip of a switch for horror of like the newer gen was Cabin in the Woods.
Mm,
That was like the first time I remember. Like I'd say I was when was that? Like 2010 or some shit, 12 maybe,
yeah.
maybe like 2012. I remember being like I was like one of my first horrors I went and saw as an adult. Like I weren't like a kid, and I
Yeah.
was just like, yo, what the fuck did they just do? You know, like there was, they made me think it was going to be 10 different things, and then they swung it so many ways. Such a
Yeah.
classic. But then, like, I think that's when people started going to themselves, oh, I can't just make that anymore. I have to
Yeah.
make something else. And then it took a while. It took a while for people to start getting there. And there was obviously good films, but then, like you say, then when Get Out come out, and then Hereditary or whatever, that's when
Yeah.
it. And then I'd say The Witch, where it's like
Yeah.
they're all so weird and different, but wow,
A24, A24, definitely a big part of the whole thing. Like,
yes,
fucking like I mentioned this online, like flipping A24 stands do my head in online a bit.
oh
It's
no,
a,
they're all noises, man. Come on, you know how it goes. You know the
yeah,
game.
yeah, and they're all probably like fucking 20 or whatever, like, and they're in uni and they got the fucking poster up where we'd have fucking Scarface up. But I hate A24 stands, but A24 haters are dickheads as well.
Yeah, exactly,
Because
exactly,
they're
bro.
putting up,
They fuck in it. Look, it's a back. They put out amazing shit all the time. I
yeah,
can't hate on them, but also I get you. Like them stands, they get long in it. Like when they start breaking down the analytics and explaining why this means this, I'm like, look, I get it. I
yeah.
fight for your right to do that shit as a horror
Yeah,
fan. But
just
don't
not to
tell
me
me
right
nothing.
now specifically.
Don't tell me shit, bro. Like I'm good. I'm gonna go listen to directors talk about it. You go
Yeah,
have fun. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah, like fucking I was in the A24 fucking fans group for like a day on fucking Facebook because my
Oh, is it
feed was
bad?
it it was just every single person posting their fucking same new Midsummer tattoo. And like fucking I know full well like fucking that Midsummer tattoo is a fucking cover up of a Harry Potter tattoo, and you only got it covered up because fucking J.K. Rowling's blaming trans people for the Armenian genocide or whatever. Like,
Oh wow, that's mad. That's
yeah,
mad.
fucking all these fucking young'uns, and fair play to them, getting their fucking Midsommar tattoos over their Harry Potter tattoos. They were probably fucking watching it like at the start when like all their families fucking like all dead and that. They're like, oh, I understand, I relate to it. And really, they're thinking about the day they had to delete Ravenclaw out their Twitter bio. Fucking Hufflepuff.
Oh wow, that's mad. Yo, nah, for real though, them man
Like,
got
honestly, there was about 2 weeks where I convinced myself that I hated Midsommar just because
Nah,
of how
you
much
can't do
that
that.
group pissed me
That's what
off.
they want you to do, man. People love that. This is what there was a
Yeah,
film. There was a film. I can't
yeah,
remember
like,
which one. There was one that come out not long ago. Oh no, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Um,
yeah,
I saw this guy that I love. I follow through like he's like a TikTok guy, but he's like on Twitter. But he's not a wanker. He's like on point, and he's like also loves like fucking film student shit. And he was one of them people that like I don't know how long it's gonna take, but at some point we're gonna get that weird film critic Twitter start saying that this film's not good, and they're gonna explain why it's not good, and they're gonna all be wrong, but they're gonna push it. And I was
yeah,
like, oh, I beg that don't be true. And then obviously,
yeah.
like 2 months later, there's loads of little nerds being like, oh, but it isn't that it's not good. And I'm like, oh, you're an idiot. Like, sorry.
Yeah, it's the fucking like a lot of it's like clickbait driven because I had Toucan on last week and he's writing for Screen Rant, isn't he?
Oh,
So
okay. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that.
yeah,
That's mad.
fucking like he's like writing for Screen Rant and he's covering like all the Star Wars and the Marvel stuff, like, and he's saying like there's a culture because like a lot of people like slag off Screen Rant, saying they all have like fucking like they're like sticking to the official line, but
Okay.
they're not really. They're just like putting out the reviews. But the thing is, like fucking smaller sites and smaller bloggers, if they want to get their clicks, they can't be saying the same thing
As
as what
everyone else.
everyone else is
Or if
saying.
they are, they've got to like shroud it in something first, so you click it, and then
Yeah,
you're like, what did they say that for? And then you click the article, and they're just saying A, B, C, D shit. Like anyway, but they've got you in with the fucking bait. I get it.
yeah. That's it. Like fucking like so. Some people are just like professional contrarians. But like I say, that
Yes,
wasn't the fact.
yes.
Like I like sometimes I just think like, oh, I'm not associated with these people, and it fucking does me head in. I saw all the fucking like what's it called, the Midsommar tattoo people in the
Mm.
fucking A24 group, and I fucking like convinced myself like what's it call it, fucking I hated it because that one day in that Facebook group annoyed me so much. And I'd convinced myself, like I'd retroactively, and I was like I think it was like at the end of that year, I
Mhm.
was fucking going through my letterbox stats. I was like, hang on, I rated this 4 stars. I fucking loved this film.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I always find like mad. It's just like when I've done that in life, you know, like where
Yeah,
people just annoy me so much, so I'm like, oh, I don't even like it anymore. Like we've all done it in some aspects, but it's like
yeah,
that's what they want in it. Like I'm not. I don't personally like. Even though I'll tell people I love something, or I'll tell people to watch something, or I'll tell people I think something ruled. I don't care if they like it. Like you'll
yeah,
never catch me saying someone's a complete fuck it. Like I'm not gonna be sat there all day going, "You're an idiot, you're an idiot." I will just say
yeah,
to myself, "All right, whatever in it, that's my shit. Like I like
mm,
it, that's mine." Like I think that's a bit not a dying art or anything. I'm not a fucking idiot, but
yeah,
you know, like growing up, like liking something that you liked, and then getting older and people like that sucked, but you still like it. That's cool
mm,
to me because, like, I
yeah,
know I fucked with it, so you can't
yeah,
take it away from me. Like, bro, I like fucking Part 8. I like Jason Takes Manhattan. No one can ever
yes,
take that from me, even though in every list I've ever seen, it's like the worst, the worst, the worst. I'm like, bro, you weren't there when I'm 13 with like all my cousins that's 13, 14, and we're pissing ourselves at 2 in the morning going, "You're all gonna die," and like, "Give me your best shot," and that. Like, you can't take that from me.
yeah,
That will never die. So when people say, "Oh, like I don't like this, I do like that," that's fine. But if you're telling people what they should, like, come on, man. Like,
yeah,
it, also there's like facts as well. It's like saying oh well, like I don't like Prince or something. Like you cannot like Prince, but I know factually he was great. So
Yeah,
that's fine. You're allowed to not enjoy his shit. You can just have that opinion because
mm,
opinions or whatever anyway. But I will
yeah,
know that's not how things. That's just not a fact, innit? It's just not a fact of life,
yeah.
man.
See, I'm with
So
you 100% on this, and that's probably why no one clicks my shit. But apart from the diehards that do, and I fuck with you heavy. But that's it. Like people, like I don't want to be like fucking out here just like doing the fucking controversial opinion cast. Like,
bro, if I don't like something, I don't care. Like, obviously, I do like mocking. Like, we did it on the show I was on, where I was taking a piss out of that Eddie
mm,
Marston guy. Like, I
mm,
like fucking with that because it really winds people up.
yeah,
Some girl replied to me the other day because I tweeted like last week or something or 2 weeks ago. I was like, "Oh yeah, I haven't wrote that fuck that Eddie Marston guy yet for a
mm,
while," so I just tweeted it. She was like, "Why you got beef with a fictional character?" And
mm,
instantly I was like, "Look, I know you've got his T-shirt. It's all right." Like I didn't reply that, but I was like, I know you're annoyed because I just wanted to give him grief, but
mm,
you're a fan and that's allowed. And I was like, look, I'm just gonna keep doing it because it's funny, but I'm never gonna hold it seriously. Like I don't care. Like
yeah,
bro, it's not that serious to me.
mm,
But yeah, for real. If I enjoy something, I enjoy something. It's like I remember I've seen Tony say it over the years. I've seen a few people say it. It's like
mm,
if I give a list of stuff I like and you tell me where's X, Y, Z, it's
yeah.
in your one, bro. Go write your own list. Also, it doesn't. It's not the be all and end all that I've written that list. Like, not everything needs backlash, bruv. Like, you don't
Yeah,
have to be like, well, where's that film from this year? Like, we probably ain't said a date film from 2022 right now.
yeah.
And there's probably someone going, well, where's that? And I'm like, I don't know. We didn't mention it.
This is why I don't want to be doing lists like fucking because like if I did a list, it'd be a stupid list because like I'd have like fucking 6 things in it that I saw at a festival that haven't even
That no
fucking come
cunt
out.
seen.
Yeah. And fucking at the same time, the shit I've not seen, like, and some of
Yeah,
it's been big releases because there's been so many big
there's been a
releases.
lot. There's been a lot, man. I've not, like I said, I hadn't seen that like a few things yet. That what like I ain't seen Pearl yet, and I watched X and loved it, and I thought I was gonna watch Pearl straight away, and I didn't. So
Yeah.
there's a good
Like
few.
I think the what should we call it? The way to go is like fucking like I'm not the guy for it, but I think you need to find like your certain like fucking like your mega fucking watch everything like journalist types.
Mhm.
And fucking like, and if you're following them on Twitter, then they can follow. Brad Hanson's always a good fucking shout. Like, he does a lot with evolution of horror.
Okay.
Like, bumped into him a couple of times, and fucking I was speaking to like Mike, the fucking guy from Evolution of Horror, and it at Fright Fest, and he was going like, yeah, like there's like 60 films playing at this festival, and like fucking Brad Hanson's already watched 57 of them just at home with screeners. Like it's just like fucking he watches all the screeners like.
That's sick. I fuck
Yeah,
with that.
and fucking he's like fucking I fuck with his taste heavy like so.
Bro, honestly, I swear, there's so many people in life where I'm like, I'll say films and I've never heard of it. They're like, oh, you must watch so many films, and then listen to like these directors like Tarantino and Scorsese and Edgar Wright and that, and they're like, bro, them man have watched 50 times the films I've seen. And I'm like,
Yeah.
how do they do it? Because I'm trying. I'm trying to catch up, but I'm so far behind. It is nuts. So that
I
guy watching 57 out of 60 is nuts. Like,
yeah,
crazy.
fucking like he fucking he mustn't have any ADHD at all. Fuck it.
Bro, don't, no, don't. I'm
That's one thing
terrible.
because I fucking that's my 2022 event is I got diagnosed with them and I'm on the fucking Elvance now like.
Gee, well, I'm glad you got fucking some knowledge about it, man. Like, good luck, chat.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it helps. Like
Fuck it,
going
I
forward.
like it that I get like the fucking pills in a bottle like this, and they're fucking like they're white and blue capsules, like so it looks like I'm taking the shit out of a carer. But like fucking Like, I found out I don't need to like force myself to concentrate if a film's slow while I'm on them, or like fucking like make a conscious effort to look at the subtitles like I normally do.
Oh, mate,
So like,
honestly, I was talking to someone about this recently. Like, there is no way I don't. Like, I'd be very surprised if I don't. But I don't
yeah,
know how to find out because no one did it when I was a kid, so I don't know, bro.
yeah,
But like, yeah, it's a strange feeling. But good luck to you, man. Like, I'm glad you was able to sort that.
yeah, man, fucking I don't know. Well, we'll run into the mental health stuff, but it's like I haven't mentioned about my fucking experience of fucking like being on the Elvans because they're like the strongest ones there are. But you just have one in the morning, and it'll do like well, you just have one for like 13, 14 hours they last, and fucking like so I'm like up early in the morning. I got to be in work, so I'm fucking having a bit of breakfast, chuck one of them down, and then I'm fucking fully in gear for work. But like at the end of the 13, 14 hours, they like wear off suddenly. And like I'm not like
No,
using me coping and like I've just gone through the whole day not using me fucking coping mechanisms to
and then you have
like
to,
of like
yeah.
having to force myself to concentrate on things. I'm not used to doing it. So it wears off suddenly and like I just turn into an idiot at nightfall. It's like I'm a wear imbecile. The fucking full moon comes out and I can't fucking think anymore. Like
Mate,
like
a
like the
wearing
third
the still.
yeah. First day I was on them, like I was watching, like I thought, like I want to test these on things that I know I should like, but I never got on with because it's too slow. So I was watching this Jean Roland film, like did all like the fucking lesbian, vampire, French, Euro horror things in the 70s, and like that they all look really cool. But they like they're paced quite weird. So I could never get on them. So I watched Fascination. I'm like, oh yes, yes. I see. I get this now. This is interesting. Yes, very, very good. I like this. Rated. And then what you call it? After that, like I whacked on like a Japanese film, and like the pill kind of like wore off, like fucking halfway through the Japanese film. I just realized like, fucking, I've got no idea what's been happening here. I haven't
What
been
is
reading
going on in this movie right
yeah,
now?
I haven't been reading these fucking. It wasn't a hard film to follow at all. Like it's
It's like been
I've
three
just been going around
explosions
not
and that's
geared
it.
for it. I thought I haven't got a fucking clue what's happening. I've just been thinking about fucking daisies and fucking rabbits frolicking in fields or whatever fucking bullshit goes from my stupid head. This
Mate,
is why I'm really interested in this fucking battle. What should we call it? With fucking Gaz time. Because it's the first time I've like
oh
fucking written
yeah,
anything.
yeah, for real, that's
Yeah,
crazy. I
it's
never
gonna be the
thought-
first time I've like fucking like prepared a battle on like fucking like where I'm like medicated.
Just make
And
sure you
like
go on early and not late.
yeah.
If you
Well,
go
this
on
is it.
late and it
Or
wears off.
I'm gonna make sure like I take it later
Okay,
because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like fucking I can't budget for battle rap time. But it's like fucking like just trying to write and just get my shit actually done. Like
Mm.
not turning up on the day and like I haven't like even edited all the bars into rounds and. I'm
No,
fucking
man,
like the
honestly.
event's sold out, and I'm fucking what should we call it on the coach there going, oh, I'm gonna have to get these sorted now.
Mate, don't I remember we I did that 2-2 event last year and you was on it in it was round the corner, me and Frost against Impacts and Tongue Twister and you and Bowski against two geezers who I forget now. Who the fuck did you battle? But you was fucked early doors. Like
Yeah,
super, you was like the second battle of the day and you was like gone, bro. You was gone,
I
bro.
was fucking annihilated. Like fucking, I've been trying to get away from that over the few years, but that crept up on me because like Boski stayed at my house the night before.
Oh yeah, I think I remember this now actually.
Yeah, and so and we were getting the coach down together, and the fucking coach got us there for fucking like 5 in the morning. So fucking, we were in fucking Weatherspoons in fucking Victoria, and like,
Killing time.
yeah.
For real.
Yeah, it was just an absolute disaster. I had a bit of a shocker at the birthday with fucking not the birthday, April Fools and all. Like,
Oh, swear.
yeah, yeah, but
Oh,
the
the reverse battle. Yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Oh, that was his day, man. Fair play.
yeah, man, fucking. Like it's one of those I was like more or less all right, ready to go for it, and then suddenly he just evolved into a different fucking creature.
Mate, it's a strange feeling when you battle someone and you're so not expecting them to pop like the way they do. Like I still
Yeah,
I know
fucking like I was thinking of you like fucking like during my third round, thinking of like when you had to battle Gem as your second battle,
that's
and
what
like
I
that
was
was the one where he
literally
figured
gonna
out not
say.
to.
I was just gonna say, bruv, the day he did that, I remember being there. Like everyone's like, "Oh, Frank choked and that." I was like, "Yeah, I did," but I choked because I was standing there going, "Oh my days, what just happened?" I was
Yeah,
expecting him to not get this shit yet at all, and he fully got it. But that was
yeah,
on me. That was my
yeah,
error. But
yeah.
yeah, no,
That fucking
you
yeah.
literally said the exact thing I was gonna say. Fucking hell.
Mind you, fucking like I did say to Reverse, I said it from his debut that I'm happy to battle him because like fucking when you're starting out, it's harder to get someone with a bit more experience to battle you. And I did want him to get a bit of shine, and he
Yeah.
did. To be fair,
Well,
fucking
bro,
like
it's a weird one. I told him as well, like when he did the Carlton one, I was like,
mm,
don't care about winning, just do good as you, and
yeah,
then like that wins and that will come like later when the competition's
mm,
more your competition. But you're battling like someone like 10 years experience and you got like 2 minutes. Don't stress about beating Carlton Shank because you won't. I was like, you won't win that one. It's your second battle. But what you might do is get bare people to give a fuck who Reverse is and want to
yeah,
watch you again in the next one. And then now like he's just gonna push on. Like I'm pissed for him because obviously he had all them battles fall apart, but he's doing this one on Saturday against that
yeah,
Savant guy, and I think
yeah.
he's gonna kill it.
This is it. Like I'm at least happy that it's really helped him break through. Like it, and I know it has because it's on nearly like 4,000 fucking views. Like and
Yeah, that's
fucking
mad, bro. That's the
yeah,
thing as well.
and fucking
I like
like
giving
no one
shots, man.
shares my battles because I'm like fucking persona non grata in certain circles. No one shares my battles online, but they watch the cunts
Mm,
because the
mm,
views
mm,
haven't fucking shifted. And
mm.
like, I
I love
like
giving
fucking
shots,
no
man.
one will admit to watching a fucking Kinell battle, but fucking everyone's fucking favorite new guy's Reverse. So how
Yeah,
does
yeah,
that work
yeah,
out?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
Come
the
on.
people who say they don't watch Don't Flop either.
Yeah, yeah, come
Really?
on,
Like,
bro.
so fucking how's he your favourite newcomer then, you lying bastards?
Bro, it's mad. I like that as well that you give shots because I tried, man. Like I look at the fact that like if I hadn't have said yes to visual,
Yeah.
like literally it was like a year ago, like
Mm.
the other day, and it's
Yeah.
like yo, if I hadn't have said yes to visual, and he might still be trying to get that guy. You know, like same
Yeah.
with Frost. Like I asked
And
for Frost, Frost might still have been trying to get that guy. Like I'm not
yeah.
saying that I've done it. I'm just saying I was happy to give them the go because
Yeah.
it
There
was
needs to be someone who does.
more
I mean, like,
interesting.
it goes the other way too. Like I did the same thing for Just Trev like the month before, and I fucking bodied him.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, I know. I like Mjolnir battles up on the Don't Flop Patreon, like, and like fucking his mates are making a lot of noise for his bars, but I fucking won that shit.
bro, don't. I swear, I watched. Well, I didn't watch it, but when I battled homeschool, Marlo messaged me like a week or so later. He's like, "Oh, mate, just watched it back, smashed it, blah blah blah, X Y Z. This was good," and then he was just like, sent me this video. Bro, I'm waiting for the day that I can send it to him. I won't do it yet because I like CJA. But there's a video Marlo did, and he's just laughing at every time CJA reacts to homeschool. And it's like 2 minutes, but skipping through the battle, and he's just losing the plot at like everything that homeschool says. And I'm like, oh, bro, I know why he did it. I get it. He was just hyping him because it's his pal, and they both come to America and that, from America and that. But
Yeah.
it's just always funny when you single that out. Like it just always will be funny. So
Yeah, man. Fucking, but yeah. Fucking like, this is it. Like, fucking like, because the reverse battle, I think it's pretty much considered that I've had a terrible year. But like, I fucking won me other ones.
yeah,
Fucking like, I got Don't Flop on the BBC and fucking like, did that BBC Click thing. I got interviewed by them and the interview wasn't there, but fucking like, I'm fucking rapped on BBC News this year. fucking like we got the tattoo event fucking dropping soon. That's like needs a bit more editing, like, but it's like fucking a whole like sort of
How was
fucking.
that still? How was that? Was that weird?
It was fucking fun because it was the day after the Chester event and fucking Hulk and her were staying here. So it was all like fucking like the whole day fucking hanging around being daft and fucking getting the train up to fucking Liverpool and fucking meeting Boski. And there's all these fucking people associated with the tattoo shop around there.
That's
Fucking
great.
like the thing we found about it, like, is like, because like fucking me and Hulk had like fucking. And like Boski for the most part had no bars. Like I'd battled Orwin like the night before, and like my logic was that I could get away with fucking up more while I'm getting a tattoo because
because you're
like
getting
fucking people don't watch tattoo battle for like good bars. They want to they want to see you look uncomfortable and call you a pussy in the comments.
Yeah, literally.
So I fucking freestyled a lot, but I fucking like did all right in it. But what we found is they're like, while you're fucking thinking things up and you're coming up with punches and there's like a lot of people there and it's fucking landing, you fucking don't feel the tattoo at all. But where's the other guys round?
You're in bits.
Yeah, it just hurts more than a normal tattoo because you're getting a
Yeah.
tattoo and someone's insulting you and 20 people are laughing at him calling you a dickhead. Like,
Oh, that's double pain. Yeah, that's mad. I never even thought of that. That's sick. That's sick. Fucking
yeah,
hell.
so that's gonna drop. So like fucking like, you know, I haven't been doing big opponents, but like generally I'm pretty much fucking only had one fucking major L all year, and that's been the whole year.
And yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter.
Fucking like what should we call it? Like Premier Battles, like tweeted earlier. Like I noticed they said like, who's your favorite battler from London, Manchester, fucking north of England, south of England, Scotland, Wales, and like Ireland, and fucking everyone's just missing out Wales.
Oh my days, man.
I'm like, fucking hell, mate. Fucking, it wasn't so long ago I was fucking headlining fucking, what should we call it? Nil versus Shuffle T, man.
You know what I mean? Fuck's sake, man.
They're just missing out the whole country because, like, fucking, name your other favourite Welsh battler then, you bastards. They'd rather just not acknowledge the country.
Nay other Welsh battlers. Nah, I'm joking. Fucking yeah, man. It's been a mad year. I've only done the two, but I tried to do way more. I did. Just never happened. Just never
They're
happened.
two very impactful battles, like.
I'm happy that they went well. Like I really am, but it was just a weird one because obviously, like, I just get loads of people doing the whole, oh, but he doesn't do it enough, and I'm like, well, it's not my fault. I asked to do loads, just never got booked the way I wanted to get booked. So, like, not as in like who I picked or chose, just like dates and stuff just didn't work out. But yeah, I'm still happy with it. I still feel good that like I'm still beating my last performance. That's what I'm doing right now. I don't care about much else.
Fucking like the performances you've been delivering are fucking like rose to your level of your writing, and your writing's got even better.
Yeah, it's a strange feeling, bro. Thank you. I'm not gonna lie. I do feel that. Like, I notice it's happened. You know, like I can see it. Like, but it's a weird one with the scoop battle. I actually was mad uncomfortable, and when it finished, because I was like, for a split second, I was like, I don't know how well it went. You know, like usually you got like you can just feel it, but for some reason I was like, even though everyone was bugging, I was like, I couldn't tell how well it went. But then every cunt on earth was just like, best battle, and I was just like, oh, okay, all right, I'm overthinking it. Then it went well, and then I started feeling it straight, like, you know, like 20 minutes later. But it's a weird one. I usually you kind of know straight away, but that one I didn't realize until like a little bit after. But yeah. Hopefully, I'll do a couple in that season, and
Yeah, man.
I haven't really got much else like planned. Really, I don't. I wanted to do loads this year and like none next year, and then now it's looking like I'm not gonna do many on both. But everyone's gonna expect me to do more next year when I already said that I wanted to do loads this year, and it never happened. So it's a weird one.
Yeah. My plan is fucking next year, like fucking. Obviously, I haven't been in the draft, like, but fucking, I I've kind of fucking taken the response to me a bit personally this year. Like, I'm like, okay, fucking, I've had a couple of shonky ones, but fucking, I'm still me. Like, I'm still like fucking number 8th most active UK battler of all time. Like, they weren't all shit.
Facts. Just get back amongst it the way you're comfortable, bro. You know how it goes. Like, just keep doing your thing. That's why the people, like you said, some cunts clicking. You said the views ain't gone nowhere, so I fucks with it, man. Just keep doing
Yeah,
it,
I've fucking
man.
like I think I need to get back to my Ronald's ways, like fucking getting out there fairly regular and doing things like battling in a fucking like biker bar, like against some like knucklehead.
Biker bars, mad.
Yeah,
I see you talking about that earlier.
yeah,
I don't know if I told you one day, I might have posted it, but like earlier this year, I went to go to this bar. It's like a proper like goth like metal bar, and
yeah.
I get to like the corner, and it was like rammed out with Hell's Angels,
Yeah.
and I was just like, oh shit, because it was in a different ends to me. Like I'm not from there, so I wasn't expecting it, and then I was just like, well, I'm not going here. I'm like, it was like some like celebration, like anniversary for someone, like or whatever. And I was just like, well, I'm definitely not going in here because you just know it's gonna be mad, bro. Just like 100 goons out the back, all massive geezers covered in leather with the beers and that and the barnets. And I was just like, that shit looks fire. I'm going to that shit all over the road instead. And I went to some gaff and they were playing like Bruce Lee and that. It was mad. It was such a complete surreal like change of environment. But yeah,
Fucking
bro.
what you call it? I fucking Bruce C. Fucking like let's shout out Bruce C for
Yeah,
a
man.
second, like. Well, we got fucking sidelined and we're talking about rap because fucking like breakthrough artists at the Mobos,
Mate,
fucking huge. Like,
man's gone. He's blown.
yeah,
Just
like
forever,
fucking like he's been doing all those like mad festivals and things like
mate.
for a while now. Like,
He's like
he was the
low
first.
key the face of like that baseline shit, isn't it? So
Yeah,
good
yeah,
luck
fucking
to him,
like
man. Killing it.
like the kids you see in town, like they're playing Bruce E off their phone, like.
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy, man. It is mad to see like just a Don that we used to just be about with, just popping heavy. It's so fire, man. All them events back in the day, and I'm just seeing him about, and then now he's like fucking front and center at like the awards and that. It's cool, man. It's very
Yeah,
cool. Love seeing that
yeah,
shit. It's been cool. It's been like a cool like year or so for like that sort of shit. You know, like been like a lot of battlers doing cool shit. Like I see Craft on the news, like and shit. Like you was doing the BBC stuff. They're
yeah.
like
The fucking
Scoop
Scoop.
doing that shit, bruv. Like with the spoken word, man. It's fucking. It's just cool, man. It's just very cool. Obviously, even like I throw in like the fact that Shorty done a whole wrestling show. Like you know, like it's just bare random stuff, cool stuff that's sort of separated from the scene, but not like
Yeah.
it's cool, man.
That's it. Like the fucking scenes, like the fucking like so many of the people that we know are just like have so much fucking creativity that just but the creativity doesn't necessarily exist in a way that like fucking people outside of battle rap can connect with. So when it starts happening and fucking people start seeing
Proper
that and
nice,
showing
innit?
love, like
It is
it's a
proper nice,
beautiful
man.
thing to see.
And it's always cool because like most of the people that I've seen don't fuck it off. Like they don't go, oh, I don't know what that is anymore. Like
Yeah,
most of them are still like big up you. Like even if they're not about anymore, they still fuck with it on some level.
yeah,
Like even like Def. Look at Definition, bro.
yeah,
Guy's a
man.
fucking monster on YouTube, bro. Guy's a
Yeah.
fucking huge guy on there. Like mad. Good on him, man. It's sick.
Ah, you fucking safe. Do you know what we've spun off on like such a positive note, and we're coming up to an hour and a half, so I reckon we should wrap it up there, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been fantastic. Do
Every
you want
time, man.
to
Appreciate it.
dish out the socials? Tell people what to get eyes on.
Yeah, well, January 1st, start of the year, me and Scoop comes out on YouTube, so like look out for that on the
Oh
PG and
yes,
all
fucking
that.
hell.
Fucking it's on the Patreon now, but like obviously grab the Patreon anyway, support, grab the Don't Flop Patreon, all that, NLC, all them guys, like get all their shit. But my battle drops on the 1st of January on YouTube. Hopefully enjoy that. definitely like very happy with it. And yeah, socials, man, just follow Hellphraser on Instagram. All the other stuff I don't care about as much anymore. But Hellphraser, I'm trying to do cool shit. I just post about horrors. I post videos that I fucking bought that I liked that growing up, like cool ass fucking boxes that scared me as a kid, like bad taste and shit. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
And I sometimes try and dress up with it, but I never really take it too seriously because I try and do with whatever I've got in like personal
Yeah,
space.
man. But it's a good vibe. You're having fun with it. Like, it's not like you're one of these like fucking like people who like hire a professional photographer just for their fucking Instagram and shit. Like,
Yeah, man. Like, look, if
it,
that's what
it,
you
it,
do, good luck to you. But it's just I can't. I'll never take it that serious because the whole point of it is
yeah,
mainly I just wanted a place where like and it took me so long to work out what Instagram is. Like for
yeah,
years, I was like, oh, I just post shit that I'm doing and reply and like other cunt shit. But it's actually about harnessing a timeline of your interests. And I never really noticed that until I did this horror one because it's all just horror stuff. It's all just videos and Blu-rays and like movie posters and stuff coming out and like cool stuff and then people doing cosplays and all that. And it's just like it's just an aesthetic. Like I like seeing that shit. I like it makes me feel better when I scroll on that
yeah,
shit and I can see someone dressed up as Jason or some shit and it's like that's cool. I fuck with that. You know what I mean? Or posting
yeah,
the other day. This one was on Facebook, but I see it on like Insta as well sometimes. But some guy was selling a load of Japanese big box like Stallone films. So it's all like First Blood, but with like Japanese writing down the spine. And I'm like, that just looks cool as fuck to me. I don't need it. I don't have like it doesn't do anything like, but I just enjoy seeing it. So that's why I have the Instagram now, stuff like that. But yeah, if
yeah.
you enjoy all that, follow me there. Don't worry about the Frankie. Like you can follow Frankie Phraser on Twitter and all that. I probably won't accept you on my normal Instagram because like bro, no one wants that. No one wants that. Go follow
Yeah,
the
you
fun
can
one.
definitely see like the love you've got like coming through, man. And it's something that I enjoy seeing on my feed, man. It's an
Thank
excellent
you, bro.
vibe.
Thank you,
Always
bro.
check the stories and that.
Oh yeah, and one last thing. That's what I wanted to add. My girl's got a shop called the Needle Dead. It's like she does like scrunchies and
Yeah,
like little stuff like that. Like you can get like wash bags and like eye masks, but it's all horror based. So like it's
yeah,
like the shining you can get like the shining floor as like a scrunchie if like you got the hair for
yeah.
it, but or you can get a little wash bag with like the shining stuff on it, or like before there was like screen ones and stuff. But yeah, definitely check out the Needle Dead and the Needle Dead at bigcartel.com or
Okay.
.bigcartel.com if you get a chance. Follow that Instagram as well if you get a chance, if that's your vibe. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Yes, get them followed. Check out the Needle Dead for all your scrunchy needs. Right, fucking yes. Yeah, big Needle Dead at bigcartel.com. Yeah.
Yeah, the Needle Dead with the
The Needle Dead, got it. Okay, safe. Yeah, come and watch me in Birkenhead. You know where I am on the socials if you found this, because pretty much everyone seems to be clicking through from my socials. So you know who I am. Come and watch me battle, killing everyone this year, killing everyone next year. Like fucking like uh, it's fucking happening. 2023, we killing it. Big
Come on.
Frank, Kinell,
Appreciate you.
KSC podcast. We out. Peace.